Hey, Vinyl community, we are back. First and foremost, I want to say happy Father's Day to everybody out there that is a father. That's coming up this weekend. And I want to do a video about some finds that I got on my travels. I went to Charlotte, North Carolina this last week. And then I'm also going to talk about Psych albums from bands that weren't producing Psych albums on the regular, right? So these are pop artists that were on the charts, but not for Psych. And they've gone under the radar, but are since become very collectible and very fun and sought after. So first and foremost, let's see what I found on my trip to Charlotte. First place I stopped in Charlotte was Noble Records. I had not been there, had heard lots of great things, did lots and lots of searching, and I finally found The Adventures of Robert Savage. And Dylan's shown this record before on his channel. I did not know that he had a copy there until I found it, and it is fantastic. It's in really great condition as well. This is psych rock, prog rock, very guitar drenched, very heavy, and really happy to find this one. The next place I went to after Noble Records, I went to a place called Premium Sound. It's in Charlotte, and it is inside of what's called the Gold Tone Workshop. And they work on guitars and musical equipment there, but they also have, the Premium Sound part is a really small curated record shop, and I found some really cool stuff in there. I found Charlie Musselwhite's Louisiana Fog. This one's in the Shrink. It's on this Cherry Red Records label right there that you can see. It's absolutely fantastic electric blues album from Charlie Musselwhite, and if you don't know, you should. The other album that I got from Premium Sound that's pretty fun, it's called Next Exit by 5x5 is the band. They only had this one album. It's on the Paula Records that's out of Shreveport, Louisiana. And these guys were some young punks. The youngest guy in the band was 17 when they recorded this, and the oldest was 21. So some really young guys. Mostly cover songs on this album. So they cover Fire, which was the biggest hit that they had. They cover Soul Man. They cover Hush. A lot of the standards. It's pretty fun. It's nothing life-changing, but it was a fun one to find. So the other place that I went to in Charlotte, they have two locations. This is the North End location. It's called Hardy Boys Records and Comics. Really like this shop. They had a lot of great stuff. The first album I found was Coque Escovedo. This is his album Comin' At Ya. This is like soul, disco, funk-ish. It's on the Mercury Tower label. And I had his first album, but I did not have this one. And Coque was, he was a part of Santana for a while. He was a part of Malo also. And just a really good album, hard to find. And this one is a little bit more expensive than his first album. And then I went to my last stop before leaving is I liked Hardy Boys so well that I went to the other Hardy Boys on the south end on my way to the airport. And I found some good stuff there. This one is the first Amon Duel album, which is krautrock. This is a really clean copy, US pressing on Prophecy. And I had to say, I was really excited about this one. And I listened to it, and I'm not as excited about it now after listening to it. I don't know if it's just not my thing, but I'll give it another shot. So I may put this one up for sale if someone's interested. And another one that I did find, again, at the South End, was an album that I already have, but it's really awesome. It's the first Silver Apples album. And the cover was in a little tough shape, but I cleaned that up. The vinyl's in really good shape. It's in excellent shape. So I'm going to be selling this one as well. And the most important part about this one is it's got this guy here, right? This insert. This is very seldom in there. So this one will go with the insert. And that's what I found on my travels. I'm going to show you a couple more that I found here locally real quick, and then we're going to get into the cyclist. First one I found locally at Electric Fetus is called Psych Out. This is a soundtrack for a B movie called Psych Out. Jack Nicholson was actually in this one. And this has the Strawberry Alarm Clock on it and the Seeds, as you can see, and it's on this awesome Tower subsidiary called Sidewalk. Almost everything on this Sidewalk label is really, really good. So if you see that, you're in for a treat. Another fun one that I picked up, stuff you just don't see all that often either, The Sounds of Modification. This one is on Jubilee Records. This is a really good pop psych album, was really clean. Again, this one I found at Electric Fetus. And I also found Colors. This one's Cheap Heat. This is a really great psych album here on the Dot Records label. And I got an upgrade copy, so I will be selling a copy of this as well if anyone is interested. And I found another nice one in the shrink that you just don't see all that often, Joyful Noise on RCA. This one is really fantastic. Again, this one's Cheap Heat. This one clocks in around $10 or so. And I got a mono upgrade copy, so I'm going to be putting this up for sale. If anyone's interested, it's the Jelly Bean Bandits. This is a stereo copy. And this one is in not that great a shape. I'd say VG jacket and VG vinyl, but it plays really, really well. And it's one of the best albums on Mainstream, in my opinion. I also got another copy of 50 Foot Hose, which is a really popular, sought-after psych album, electronic psych album as well. Cauldron is the name of the album. And the vinyl on this one is excellent. And I would say the jacket is a VG+. So that one will be going up for sale as well. If you're interested in those ones that I said that are up for sale, feel free to reach out to me, message me, and I'm happy to work out a deal with anybody. So now we're going to get into psych albums from bands that weren't producing psych albums. So they're one-offs. They are obscure. They're strange, right? The first one I'm going to mention that didn't make the list, but is maybe most important because they beat the Summer of Love, is this one right over here. It's the Byrds, The Fifth Dimension. This came out in 1966 and is considered one of the very first psych albums that came out in the United States. So they were ahead of the curve. Lots of spacey, ethereal tones and raga Eastern sounds as well. The only thing that even remotely gets close to this in their catalog, in my mind, and the psychedelic sounds would be the Notorious Byrd Brothers that came out in 1968. That has a little bit more of a country flair to it. So here is where we're going to start. So these first couple of ones are going to be Summer of Love, so kind of right in the vein, and then the last one is going to be 71, so they span 67 to 71. And the first one that I'm going to point out, like I said, 1967, is the Rolling Stones, and this is one that most people probably know about. It's their Satanic Majesty's Request, and this is kind of a polarizing album for a lot of Stones fans, because they either love it or they hate it, right? And this was their response to Sgt. Pepper's. And I really do enjoy it. I know not everybody does, but this is one of many amazing albums from the Stones. And I've got a US stereo pressing, which this is. I've got a US mono pressing as well. Really, really like this album. But a one-off from the Stones, right? They never really did anything in a psychedelic vein besides this album. That is number one. Number two, we have the Beach Boys with Smiley Smile. So a lot of people will say that Pet Sounds is the first psychedelic album that they did. I would say there's definitely some psychedelic tones to that, but this one is the most bizarre, out there album that they put together. This one came out in 67 as well, right after Pet Sounds. It was supposed to be Brian Wilson's Smile, but he had to remove himself from the situation, was having a mental break. So they ended up with Smiley Smile, and you get some awesome songs on here. You get Good Vibrations, which just didn't make Pet Sounds. That came out as a single, and then was the first track on side 2 on this album. And And then you have the first track on side one of this album, Heroes and Villains, which is a really great album, really great song too. But this whole thing is very strange, very psychedelic, very out there. And I would argue that they didn't ever do anything that was quite this out there, quite this psychedelic. And if all you know of the Beach Boys is their harmonies and the surf music, give this one a shot. I think you'll like it. Okay, we are still in 1967, and I bet no one thought that the Everly Brothers were going to jump in the Psych game, but they did. And there's a lot of cover songs on this album, but it's really good. So we have covers of Blueberry Hill and a lot of other songs. A Good Golly Miss Molly is also covered on here, House of the Rising Sun. But you have songs like Devil's Child, Trains, Boats, and Planes, I'd Be a Legend in My Own Time. This is just really fantastic. And the nice thing about some of these artists that went psych, but were popular artists, right? So they weren't really doing psychedelic music, is you get unbelievable harmonies. You get that with the Beach Boys, you get that with the Everly Brothers, and you get that with a few other ones that I'm going to show you here. So you get grade A singing chops along with psychedelic, which is, you don't always get that when you do the really obscure ones, right? Or the ones that are out there. A lot of times the lead singer's voice or the harmonizing is garbage, right? Or even the playing's garbage. Here you get the best of both worlds. All right, here is another one of my favorites. And this is the Bee Gees' first album. This is from 1967 as well. And this is the US pressings on this Atco label on the yellow and blue. And this is a phenomenal album. And again, if all you know of the Bee Gees is the disco, is a Saturday Night Fever of We Should Be Dancing, think again, like this is an absolute masterpiece. And again, you have beautiful, beautiful harmonies that are unparalleled, unmatched, and amazing. And this is cheap too. You can get it real cheap. And this is, like I said, this is the mono pressing. You can also get it in stereo, but it sounds amazing. And I would definitely suggest anyone to check it out. I mean, just get a little look at that cover there. It's really good. All right, in that same vein, and this is also 1967. Another one you wouldn't think of. It's Chad and Jeremy, right? These guys were doing pop, they were doing folk, but they weren't really doing psychedelic music. Well, on this one they did. This one's 67. I've got the mono in the shrink here. Really amazing harmonizing, really amazing pop psych. Fantastic album. And I know what you're saying. It's of Cabbages and Kings, and it is Chad and Jeremy, right? Like, how good could this be? Really good. Stream it if you can. It's fantastic. And if you ever see this one out there when you're running through the bins, and maybe you skip over Chad and Jeremy all the time. I know, like I did a lot. But this one, you see this one in here, pull it out, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. All right, another one that people don't think of all that often, psych-wise. I believe this one was 67 to maybe 68, but it's Traffic's first album, Mr. Fantasy. This one was on United Artists. The US pressing was anyways. And this is just a phenomenal album. And this is heavy guitar-drenched psych. It's fantastic. They would go on to do more albums that had psych, but more so progressive elements to them. This is the truest psych album that they put together. It's their first one, and in my opinion, is their best as well. Every song on here is absolute killer. So I'm sure most of you know this one, but Traffic, Mr. Fantasy, amazing album. All right, now we are in 1968. And we're going with the soundtrack to the movie Head, the Monkees. That's right. Again, you think Monkees, you think fabricated band, you think Beatles ripoff, Beatles wannabe. Not here. This is a crazy soundtrack. The movie is a lot of fun too, but this is unlike anything else in their catalog. And you have some big songs in here. So a Porpoise song in particular is a really big song and was a really big song. And the whole thing is great. There's fun little interludes in between. But I think even one of the best ways to experience this album is to watch the movie and see where the songs are placed in the movie. But it's a bizarre good time. And this is a really solid, sought after Monkees album. All right, we are still in 1968 and we have Del Shannon, The Further Adventures of Charles Westover. Okay, again, I know what you're saying or you're thinking. Del Shannon, not psychedelic music. Correct. This is his one-off album, and this is phenomenal. Del Shannon's voice is amazing. The lyrics are outstanding. This is pop psych perfection. And I would put this up against almost any other album that came out in '68 for psychedelic music. This one is really good. And this one is harder to find. This is the original stereo pressing, US stereo pressing. You can get it in mono as well. Hard album to find, but definitely worth your while. Stream it if you haven't. It's phenomenal. All right, another band that really didn't have any psych leanings until they broke up and they reemerged, and that is the Animals, and specifically Eric Burdon and the Animals. So the Animals started out as a UK blues rock, garage rock band, right? And then they broke up around '67, and Eric reformed with the New Animals, and this one came out in '68, and this is their most psychedelic album, in my opinion. You have songs on here like White Houses, Uppers and Downers, Serenade to a Sweet Lady, The Immigrant Lad, Years of the Guru, St. James Infirmary, and you have a 19-minute song, New York 1963, America 1968. This is awesome. And again, you can get this cheap, right? I'd say it clocks in anywhere between $10 and $20 probably. So check it out. Here's another strange one that you wouldn't think that we'd be talking about, but we have Bobby Darin. Yes, that's right, Bobby Darin. And this one came out in '68 as well. And this one is called Walden Robert Casado, which was Bobby Darin's real name. But this is really fantastic. And I would say this is more folk, psych, kind of out there stuff. But again, unlike anything in his catalog, he had one after this that was a little bit more bluesy or soul music that was on this same label, which is Direction Records, which was a subsidiary of Bell. But both of those albums are really good. This one is definitely more psychedelic and really fantastic. And again, you can kind of pick this one up, I'd say $10 to $15 all day long. So check it out if you don't know it. All right, I'm gonna keep throwing strange stuff at you. This one, now we're in 1969. And what do we think the Four Seasons are doing in 1969? Are they still singing Sherry? No, they are not. They are coming out with this album, which is called the Genuine Imitation Life Gazette. And it looks like a newspaper with all kinds of crazy things on here, right? This is the Four Seasons attempt at psychedelic music, and it's really fantastic. It's really strange. It's really out there. And again, it's a one-off. It's like nothing else in their catalog. And it's really fun. It's a good listen. So, and there are reissues of this as well. So this one is gettable. This is an original from 1969 here. But again, the Four Seasons, the Genuine Imitation Life Gazette. Check it out if you don't know. All right, another band that was heavy into garage rock and pop rock. And then in 1969, they decided to veer into Psych and give it a shot. And that is Paul Revere and the Raiders. And I really like Paul Revere and the Raiders. I've really grown to like their whole catalog. But if you're into psychedelic music, this one here, Hard and Heavy with Marshmallow, so that's a song that's on here, is good, right? Hard and heavy, so they're riding on a tank. But this is a really, really good pop psych album. And again, this is another one that you can pick up for $10, $12 all day long, and it's worth it. It really is. All right, we're getting there, just 3 left. So now we are into 1970, and I've got to bring Mr. Eric Burdon back into discussion, and this time he is with a band called War. And this is Eric Burdon Declares War, 1970 on MGM. And this is a psychedelic soul masterpiece. This one is really good. And War would go on to do mostly soul music. This one has the most psych leanings of anything in the catalog. It's really good. And again, this is another one that you can pick up for 20 or under pretty easily. So check it out. And then you've got Spill the Wine. You got the hype sticker there. That was the big hit off of this one, and it's a great song. All right, I'm gonna throw you for another loop. Still in 1970, we have Mr. Blue Eyes himself, Frank Sinatra with Watertown. This one isn't straight psych music, but this is a concept album that Frank Sinatra did with Jake Holmes, and it is unlike anything in his catalog. It completely tanked, and it has Frank Sinatra kind of voicing or narrating over orchestrated music. So it's unlike anything else in his catalog, but it has since become very collectible, very sought after, and more revered now. And it is a really good album. Again, I really do like Frank Sinatra, but even if you don't like Frank Sinatra, this might be worth a shot if you're looking for an oddity or something that is strange or different from him. All right, last one for you, and then I'll let you go. We have, from 1971, we have Earth, Wind and Fire's first album on Warner Brothers Records, self-titled. This is the white label promo. This one, if you don't know, again, you're thinking more R&B, you're thinking dance music. No, this one is psych soul, and this one is so good. The second one is really good too. That one leans a little heavier on the soul side, but this one is very psychedelic, very good. And if you see it, again, if you're going through the Earth, Wind, and Fire section, pull this one out, purchase it. You will not be disappointed. So that's going to do it for this go around here. Again, I've got a bunch of more video ideas. And again, also, if you're interested in any of the ones that I mentioned that I was going to sell, please message me, and I'd love to talk to you about getting them in your hands. And until next time, everybody be well, and we'll see you next time.